The Flash has faced many powerful villains over the years, but some stand out as the most dangerous threats to ever challenge the Scarlet Speedster. These villains aren't just criminals. They are masterminds, monsters, and speedsters who push Barry Allen to his absolute limits. Today, we're ranking the top 5 villains in the Flash's history, the ones who have given him the greatest battles and the worst nightmares. 5. Gorilla Grodd, the intelligent beast, who wants to rule. Gorilla Grodd is one of the Flash's most unique villains, combining brute strength with genius-level intellect. Unlike most of Barry Allen's enemies, Grodd isn't just another speedster. He's a hyper-intelligent telepathic gorilla from Gorilla City, a secret civilization of evolved primates. Grodd's origins vary between comics and TV adaptations, but one thing remains the same: his thirst for power. In some versions, he was just an ordinary gorilla until an experiment gave him intelligence beyond human comprehension. In others, he was a member of Gorilla City who turned against his own kind, believing he was superior to both apes and humans. His telepathic powers make him one of the most formidable enemies Barry has ever faced. He can control minds, force people to see illusions, and even temporarily take over the Flash's body. His brute strength allows him to physically overpower most heroes, and his army of gorillas is a force to be reckoned with. Grodd's biggest goal is domination, whether it's over Central City, Gorilla City, or the entire world. His hatred for humanity fuels his relentless attacks, and even though the Flash has managed to stop him multiple times, Grodd always finds a way to return, smarter and more dangerous than before. 4. Clifford DeVoe, the Thinker, the mind that can't be defeated. Clifford DeVoe, also known as the Thinker, is one of the Flash's most underrated but deadliest enemies. Unlike most of Barry's rogues, DeVoe doesn't rely on speed. His greatest weapon is his mind. He started as a simple lawyer who felt the justice system failed him, and he eventually became obsessed with gaining ultimate knowledge and control. In the Arrowverse, the Thinker was reimagined as a scientific genius who enhanced his mind using the thinking cap, and later transferred his consciousness into new bodies to keep himself alive. His ultimate plan, the Enlightenment, aimed to erase human intelligence and make the world start over with only him as the guiding force. DeVoe is terrifying because he's always 10 steps ahead. He doesn't fight with fists or speed, he fights with pure intellect, planning events so precisely that Barry and his team are often left completely powerless. Even when the Flash thinks he has the upper hand, DeVoe has already predicted his every move. His ability to outthink and outmaneuver speedsters, metahumans, and even entire teams makes him one of the most dangerous foes in the Flash's history. 3. Savitar, the self-created god of speed. Savitar is one of the most complex and tragic villains in the Flash's history because he is, in fact, a broken version of Barry Allen himself. In the Arrowverse, Savitar was revealed to be a time remnant, a discarded copy of Barry created during a time loop. Rejected and doomed to die, this time remnant went insane, convinced that he was the only real Barry Allen and that he had to become something greater to escape his fate. Savitar's story is a twisted paradox. He was created to be sacrificed in battle against Savitar himself, but when he survived and realized he was nothing more than a disposable copy, he set out on a path to make himself matter. Over time, he amassed followers and became a self-proclaimed god, using a high-tech suit to enhance his speed and abilities. Unlike other speedsters, Savitar didn't just want to defeat Barry. He wanted to erase him from existence. His knowledge of the future gave him an edge over Team Flash, allowing him to manipulate events in his favor. His lightning was stronger than any other speedsters, and his suit made him nearly indestructible. In the comics, Savitar is a speed cult leader obsessed with the Speed Force, determined to control it completely. Whether in the comics or the TV show, his combination of speed, strategy, and sheer hatred for Barry Allen makes him one of the greatest threats the Flash has ever faced. 2. Zoom, the monster. Driven by pure sadism, Zoom, also known as Hunter Zolomon, is one of the most terrifying speedster villains in the Flash's history. Unlike most of Barry's enemies, Zoom doesn't just want to win. He wants to make the Flash suffer. His speed comes from a different source than the Speed Force, allowing him to operate outside time, appearing to move so fast that he creates time clones of himself. In the Arrowverse, Zoom was a serial killer from Earth 2, originally a scientist who was driven mad after being subjected to torturous experiments. His only goal was to prove that true heroes are born through suffering, and to do that, he set out to completely break Barry Allen. Zoom's most infamous moment came when he brutally murdered Jay Garrick in front of Team Flash, just to show Barry what true fear looked like. His philosophy is simple. Heroes can only become stronger by experiencing absolute agony, and he takes pleasure in forcing Barry to endure loss after loss. His terrifying presence, combined with his demonic black suit and eerie blue lightning, makes him one of the scariest villains in Flash history. Zoom isn't just fast, he's a nightmare that never stops chasing. 1. Reverse Flash, the ultimate nemesis. There is no greater enemy to the Flash than Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash. He isn't just another villain, he is the reason Barry Allen became the Flash in the first place. Eobard Thawne is a time traveler from the future who was obsessed with the Flash. When he learned that he was destined to become Barry's greatest enemy, his obsession turned into hatred, and he dedicated his entire existence to ruining Barry's life. Unlike most speedster villains who simply want power or destruction, Reverse Flash's goal is pure personal vengeance. His most horrifying act? He went back in time and murdered Barry's mother, completely rewriting Barry's past just to make him suffer. He even manipulated events so that he could train Barry himself, just to ensure he would one day become his enemy. Reverse Flash is the ultimate villain because he isn't bound by time. No matter how many times Barry defeats him, he always comes back. Sometimes from a different point in time, sometimes as a new version of himself. He is the never-ending nightmare that haunts the Flash's every move. Final thoughts. These villains represent the greatest threats the Flash has ever faced. From time-traveling masterminds to speed gods, each one has pushed Barry Allen to his limits, proving that being the Flash isn't just about running fast, it's about enduring the impossible. Who do you think is the Flash's greatest enemy? Let us know in the comments.